Hey everyone, I'm KR and this is Jarrett. And I wanted to do an impromptu video. It's something that's really been getting to me lately. It's how people treat people based on their looks. And I've had it both ways. I've had it when I guess what people think of as beautiful or whatever. And I've had it when I was 315 pounds and when people treat me like I'm stupid and like I'm invisible and they don't even pay attention to my words because they think I'm stupid just because of how I look because I'm 315 pounds, and how now people, they feel like they can just comment on my looks and like they can just devour me with their eyes, and like just because I'm a woman who looks beautiful to them, and that's not okay. But let's back up a little bit. a little bit. So just now, it's impromptu because I walked outside because I wanted to get a book from the library. I just wanted to walk to the library. It's just like a block and a half that way. And I walk outside, and this guy is also walking outside, and he stops and he's like, "Where are you going?" And I didn't answer him. He's like, "You're beautiful. Can I get your number?" And I just looked at him and was like, "I'm gay." And he was like, "That's cool. That means we're on the same team and we like the same thing. You should, I live over there, you should come like hit up a joint with me sometime." And he just looking really creepily at me, and I don't know. And then he walked down the street, and I went back inside and I counted to 25 Mississippi. And then I walked back outside, and he's standing down the street and he's looking at my direction. And I'm like, okay, well, then I'll just like go a different way. But then he just like stares at me with another dude. And so I just go inside, and I don't even feel okay to go to the library. And this might not seem like a big deal, but guys, you make us feel unsafe when you're doing that. When we don't want to talk to a stranger, we don't want to be hit on, we don't want to be asked out. It makes us feel unsafe, and that's not okay. And maybe you don't realize that, but I feel like it's so easy to realize that if you just listen. If we say no, that means no, and just go on with your day and let us continue ours. And also, it's not just weird people walking down the street, and it's happened a lot lately. I don't like it. But also, I remember when I was 15, before I gained the 315 pounds, or up to 315 pounds, I look similar to how I do now. My mom called me exotic looking, and that was really, really confusing. And a lot of people who are multiracial or biracial hear that, like, "Oh, you're so exotic looking." But the first time I heard it was from my mom, and she's white, and I didn't understand what that meant. And that just bugs me now. I didn't understand, like, what does that even mean? That's how you describe like a toucan in the tropical forest. They're exotic looking. I'm a person. And I called my mom the other day, and she was talking to Grandpa and my dad, and they were like, "Out of you three girls, Grandpa and Dad think you're the most gorgeous." They were going on and on about it. Gramps always goes on and on about it. And I was like, "Isn't that weird?" And she was like, "No. It is weird, and it's not okay. Like, that's so weird." And it makes me feel weird for my stepdad and my grandfather figure to just going on and on about how beautiful I am, and rating my sisters against each other. Why, it's weird. And it's not cool, and it's not a compliment. It's creepy. And maybe this is it's just all hitting me again now because last year, at the beginning of the year, I was 290 pounds, and at the end of 2016, I was 315 pounds. So I was just treated like I was invisible. People didn't give me the time of day. I would ask them something, and they would just look at me and ignore me, or they would just try to, like, I don't know, and just brush me off like I was just this horrible garbage person, less than garbage, and people literally treated me like I was invisible. For example, my semester at the university, I was having a hard time with depression, and I was a part of this group, the Right Love on Her Wrist, I think, the Right Love on Her Wrist, and it's really cool, really awesome group, and the group was at the union, like, holding signs that say free hugs and, like, optimistic things, and I was holding a sign, the girl next to me was holding a sign, and two guys on the side were holding, I don't even know if they were holding signs, but if they were just, like, positive, like, hey, have a good day signs, and the woman walked past me to hug the skinny girl, and walked past me again to hug the other two men that weren't even holding hug me signs or free hugs, and she just hardly even looked at me. She looked at me to walk past me, but other than that, she didn't even look at me, and it just made me feel so invisible. And then I left because I was having, like, I don't know, a panic attack because I was already having a really hard time, and I just cried. And I felt so invisible, and I didn't know why anyone would treat someone that way. And before that, I was at a foster care event, and foster kids, like, they're already, like, a lot of the people who feel the most invisible, and there was a speaker, and the speaker was done presenting, and I walked up to him, and I was like, that was really awesome. He was like, yeah, thanks, I'll give you my card if you ever need to, like, book events or something. I don't know, it was a weird self-promotion. Anyway, I was like, okay, cool. And so he wrote out a card, and he handed it to the girl next to me, and I was like, hey, I thought you were gonna get me a card. He was like, oh yeah, sorry. And the girl was really confused. And then he wrote out another card, and he handed it to the same girl. And that was like, that was mine. And he was embarrassed, and he gave me the card. But so I'm just so invisible. Like, I don't even think he was doing that on purpose. But I'm just so invisible that I didn't even register in people's radars. And now I've lost 120 pounds, and people just think, like, now I'm too visible. And it's just so stupid that looks have to mean I don't even know, and I feel like I'm just rambling, and maybe I'm making this a bigger deal than it is, but I don't think I am. I feel like people want to make us feel like it's not a big deal, but it is. It affects people. It does. How you treat people affects people, and it shouldn't matter what they look like. That affects how you treat them. People aren't dumb just because they're fat. People don't want to they don't want to be harassed because they look pretty to you. They don't want that. And I don't know why people think it's okay to treat people like that. Because it's not. Why can't we just have love for people no matter what they look like? Because we're all just people. No one is any different than that. If you're a human being, then you're a human being, and you deserve to be treated as a human being. And I hope if you're treated like that on either scale, if you're harassed because people think you look pretty, or if you're ignored because people think you're invisible because maybe you don't hold up to their pretty standards, or you're too fat or something in their mind, then hopefully this helps you feel less alone, and because you're not alone, and people feel this way, and it's okay to feel this way. We shouldn't feel ashamed to feel this way. We shouldn't be feel ashamed to speak out, because it's not okay. I just keep saying that, but it's not, and you should feel free to be a person no matter what you look like on the outside, because you are a person. You're not any less of a person if you look pretty, or if you are not like a certain weight. You are a person, and you shouldn't be someone's eye candy, and you shouldn't be ignored no matter what you look like. If you have any experiences you want to talk about, please comment in the comments below, and I will hear you. Okay, you're not invisible. Rather, like, being attracted, like it's kind of like another invisibility thing because no one, I don't know, you're visible, like too visible, but also no one, I don't know, it's weird. Like you're just visible for them. Like your face is just for them, and your body is just for them, but who you are is still invisible. And it's just so stupid. And if you are someone who can't relate to this, or if you're someone who maybe makes people feel this way, hopefully you now know that it hurts. It really hurts and it's not okay. And maybe you didn't know that. I'm sure you didn't. But hopefully now you can think about it and hopefully you can change your actions a little bit and just make people not feel invisible and also not make them feel harassed and like they're too visible or like they're doing something wrong for just existing in the world as they are. And hopefully you can just think about people in a different way. Think about people as in we're all people and we're all equal in that way and that right. And just treat people like people. No one is less than you and no one is higher than you. You're all just people. Just love everyone and be kind to everyone. And goodbye, everyone. It's good to know you. Goodbye from Jay and Kay. Bye, guys. Love you.